The job market is a tough battleground, and finding a job is hard. But do you know what's harder? Quitting, especially when you work in Japan. This has spawned a new industry in the country, where agencies will resign from a job on your behalf. What are we talking about? Here's our report. This is Toshiyuki Nino. Some years ago, he was unhappy at his job, so he wanted to quit. Sounds fairly simple, right? But Niino couldn't muster up the courage to confront his boss. No, his manager wasn't atrociously wicked. He didn't have devilish horns and a pointed tail either. But he was a Japanese boss. And that's something worth considering here, because Japan has a harsh work culture. Quitting your job in less than 3 years is a big no-no. It's met with resistance, to say the least. We'll get to more of that later. Essentially, Niino's anxiety was understandable, but it also contributed to some introspection. Few human experiences are unique, and many people experience ill treatment while quitting a job. There's guilt and shame. And Niino thought about that. So, like any other youngster in today's day and age, he let his heartache transform into, no, not art, but an entrepreneurial idea. Now, Niino and his childhood friend, Yuichiro Okazaki, have their own startup. It's called Exit. And it helps people avoid the ordeal of quitting their jobs, because Exit will do it for the people. In other words, they offer a one-way ticket to escape the guilt trip involved in resigning from a job, for a fee of $144. What does Exit do? It contacts the client's employer, informs them of their decision to quit, and helps with the follow-up process, allowing the employee to avoid anxiety-inducing confrontations, which, by the way, aren't limited to introverts. Exit was launched in 2017. Since then, about 24 companies have adopted the idea, leading to the birth of a resignation outsourcing industry in Japan. Today, there are tens of thousands of people using these services. Exit receives about 10,000 inquiries each year. And experts say this is all thanks to the Japanese work culture, where quitting a job is seen as a big mistake, even a sin. The culture promotes the idea that success requires long-time commitment, so lifetime employment was the norm throughout the 20th century in Japan. But that is changing now. Even so, the Japanese change companies less often. In fact, the average length of service at a Japanese company is 12.4 years. It would, of course, be ideal if the Japanese people felt comfortable being their authentic selves and quitting jobs if they needed to. But until that happens, the resignation outsourcing industry will continue to provide a valuable service to people. And while this idea is quite interesting, we wouldn't put it past Japan to eventually install resignation letter vending machines.